are live again. Alive again. We're live.
Alive. Hello,
on
hello.
Hello, gentlemen.
all over the internet. We're all over it. We're all over the internet. That's where we are. So, welcome, gentlemen. Again, can I just first of all apologise? I need to apologise because I put on YouTube just a few moments ago that this is the Fifth Element, but it's not. It's not. This is number 6. This is a 6 show. Can I just say, last week's show was banned. Although it was a good show, it was banned by YouTube, and it was mainly because your fault, Mr. Ian. Because you forced me under duress to play AC/DC. And because we haven't got copyright permission to play it.
To be fair, Eric, that is not quite correct. What I actually said, if you remember, I asked you personally to sing the opening 2 lines of the track, but because you were a bit shy, you elected to play it instead. So you've only got yourself to blame, I'm afraid. Whereas I was quite willing to, I was quite willing to sing the first 2 lines of Poison, but you weren't prepared. You obviously knew that I was the better singer. So what can I say?
That's by the by. By the by, what happened is it's been taken off YouTube. So what we're going to do, viewers, for you out there, just for you out there, is we'll crop the best bits because there was some good bits in that last show, and we'll put them on our usual channel in incremental order, so you can watch them at a later date at your leisure. At your leisure. And just because the back production team had to say I have to, don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, smash that bell, and give it a huge thumbs up. We've got to do that bit. You can do the next one, Graham. Just remind me, hot viewers, subscribe, thumbs up.
Evening, gentlemen from Geordieville, down near the coast here. Good evening, Ian. Good evening, Mr. Yates. Ian, I was just thinking there, you should have been a defence lawyer because you always have a very, very good recourse line or a counter argument. You would have been a very good lawyer, I'm sure.
It's mainly because
I think not, but I think you have to think of this in the right way, and I think getting a strike from YouTube is a badge of honour, to be honest, because in this day and age when free speech is no longer the norm, then somewhere that is known to fight against free speech, which is indeed YouTube, then to get a strike from YouTube just goes to show that we're flying over the target, which is good.
You can't. We're not even going to go anyway. We're not even going to go there, right? This is not a political. This is a politically incorrect channel. It's not a political channel, right? We're not having that rubbish. Anyway, what are you drinking, boys? What are you drinking? Let's do the drinking.
I am drinking. I'm once again on proper job, because I like this Cornish ale. It's quite strong. It's 5.5%, and it's also bizarrely on special offer in Tesco. And considering it's rather ironic that here I am in the far north of Scotland and drinking a Cornish ale, which is actually cheaper than any of the Scottish ales in Tesco. And to be fair, Scotland is now producing some quite decent ales, but they're never on special offer. Whereas anything that's on special offer in Tesco is invariably something from south of the border. So work that one out.
Well, wait till you get independence. You're getting out. Anyway, so hello to Mr. Borthwick.
Yeah. Good evening, Mr. Borthwick.
We're seeing D-Live. We're getting a few freezy bits on D-Live. So nothing we can do about that. It's the internet. It might improve. Anyway, what are you drinking, Grim? Were you drinking anything exciting?
Well, Ian, did you just say proper job?
I
Ian,
did.
Did you just say the drink that you have in your hand there is called proper job?
That is correct, yes.
Well, I looked at that very same ale earlier today, and I thought I'll have to be adventurous, as you keep suggesting. So I got something called, and it was the one next to proper job. It's called Hatherwood Craft Beer. and it's called the Ruby Rooster.
I'll put you a bit. I'll put it big on screen so people can see it. There you go. Look. There you go. Okay. All right.
Ruby Rooster. I've never had it before.
I have to
and
say,
I've never
Well, having a few internet problems tonight. Do apologise, people. It might improve. Anyway, so you're drinking that. Ian's frozen. So I'll tell you what I'm drinking. I'm drinking tonight an oakum beer called Citra. So a little bit of light ale with some Citarassa. I think I'd like to do an Italian accent tonight. Citarassa. Citarassa. Is your internet not working, Mr. Ian?
Sorry, Eric, say that again.
Is your internet not working very well? Anyway,
I did lose the signal for a moment just there. Just when I was asking Graham, I don't know whether he got that. I was just asking Graham his opinion of that beer. So what's it like then, Graham?
I haven't even tasted it yet, Ian. I will do so right now.
Very good.
It's good that he froze just that point.
Well, that's quite pleasant.
I have to say that didn't sound like a ringing endorsement.
Yeah. Don't forget to tell your face, Graham. Don't forget to tell your face that it's quite pleasant. Anyway, let me try mine.
I nearly went for the traditional brown ale because I haven't had one of them for years.
We're probably going to get banned for promoting. But
as in Nuki Brown Ale.
I'll tell you what I actually do prefer.
This is actually quite. Look at that shot.
I've never had that one either, Eric.
Christmas. Very nice.
Look at that. Look at that camera. Look at that. Now that's classic photography there. And classic promotion.
So where's that one made, Eric?
It's an oakum beer. It's from Oakham.
Where's that?
Leicestershire.
Oh, okay. I've never had that one either. There you go. I've been educated today, and we've only been on 5 minutes.
This is Tesco's.
They have a large jail near Oakham because I once delivered a gentleman and all his crap because he took a job as a prison officer there, and I knew it very well. Oakham. It's just near Oakham Prison.
Well, there you go.
Fancy that. Yeah.
You're not drinking out of the bottle, you're putting in the glass. What's all that about?
On a subject of beer, because Mr. Borthwick is in the sidelines.
Yes.
I'm sure he's having a few sherbets. So, Mr. Borthwick, you'll have to post in the comments what you're drinking tonight.
Yeah.
So, tell us what you're drinking, Andy.
He tells us that Ian needs to put his light on. Put 50 pence back in the meter, Ian. He needs to put 50 pence in the meter. Anyway, so let's go through this. So let's anything exciting? Anything exciting happened this week? Oh, I need my cap straight. I'm got to be symmetrical.
Tell us about your puppy training, Eric.
Hey,
I've been missing the dog this week, so obviously. So tell us about your puppy training and your puppy stories. That's what I want to know about.
And
remind me as well. What's the name of your little hound?
Right, hold on. Let me just talk to the audience. I know we talk shit and shite, which is Geordie for shit, right? But all this week, all I've had to deal with is shite and lots of different varieties of it, based on what the puppy's been feeding. So it's been shit after shit. Not that I'm doing any promotion this week as well, look. No promotion on this channel.
Have you been managing to behave like an alpha male?
Well, yeah, because I grow. So I've been doing this like. Hey, so I'm good at it. I can do it. I'll go. I'm there. I'm there. Oh,
Any notice of you?
Come again?
It's not taking a blind bit of notice of you, is it?
Well, it's starting to, because I do the old, come by, come by, come by, come by, every time I get a sheep toy out. But, I mean, we'll go and get the hound later. I'll let you have a wee look, as it were, a wee look at the hound, a wee look at the hound. She's a gorgeous wee thing. Oh, he is, rather. I keep calling her she, it's he. But yes, we've had we managed to get the P in the right place. But it's the rear end, nah. Doesn't want to go where it's meant to go.
Well, I've got
Take a few weeks, Eric.
I have an extremely tired retriever tonight because I took my van to get it fixed this morning, although that didn't happen. And it was going to take him about 4 hours. So I thought, well, I'll take the dog up in the van and I'll walk the dog just around the block a couple of times while he fixes it. He says, no. This was just before 9 o'clock this morning. He said, it's not going to be ready until at least 1 o'clock. So there's a place near us called the Cobalt, which is, Eric, you'll know it. It's like an industrial office area. But they have rather a nice park with lots of little lakes. And our dog Darcy loves going there because all the water bits are full of ducks and she loves chasing ducks. So we walked all the way around Cobalt, all the way back to North Shields. And then when I got back, Shelley took her out again. So the dog's absolutely crashed out tonight. It's knackered. We've killed it.
Well, all I can say is I can't wait to get this little bug out of the house.
I had a very sobering thought this week because obviously we've been thinking about getting another dog, and it did occur that if an average lifespan of a dog is, let's say, 12 years, something like that, and I was to get a puppy now, I'd be 70 by the time the dog dies. Isn't that a scary thought? I thought it was anyway. But it's something you got to think about these days, though, isn't it? Now we're getting old,
So what you're saying is that the dog will have to get a black tie.
Well, the thing is, when we were younger, you always used to say, "Yeah, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it next week. You'll get round to it." And all of a sudden, we've got this age now where you're starting to think, "Hang on, if I don't do it now, I'm going to be dead. I won't have time to do it." It's what do you do, don't you?
Well, you do, but that must have been I do.
I know there was this bloke years ago. Do you remember Graham? Do you remember that boat I had, Greta, the really nice one? Well,
yeah.
And these little caps, by the way, Graham.
When I first got the boat sorted out and got it in the water, I was going on a voyage down to Spain. That was the plan, with this fella called Stan, and I'd met Stan through my mate Graham, not this Graham, my other mate Graham. And Stan was 70. He was well into his 70s, and he only had one eye as well because he'd poked the other one out with a screwdriver. And he was a strange fella. But I remember one day we were sailing along there, and he was saying to me, Ian, because when he'd been younger, he'd built his own house at one stage, and I remember him saying to me, Ian, when we get back from this voyage, I think I'm going to build another house. And I said to him, Stan, what for? You're like, I think he was 75 or something like that. I said, Stan, you're going to be dead before you finished it. There's no point in you building another house. And we're getting towards that age now, gentlemen, that we need to just get on with it. And it's a bit of a scary thought. We haven't got time left to do all those things that we were going to do when we were youths. And we need to get on with it.
Just as well we did them at the time, isn't it? Just as well we did it in the time. Otherwise, we didn't do it at the time.
Indeed,
we'd be knackered. But I must admit, I'm a 55-year-old dad now, and I've got a 6-year-old. And I was talking to somebody the other day, and they said, well, by the time, I might not say I get married or have grandkids, by the time, I get to that point and go, oh, that's a sobering thought. I said, well, you do have these thoughts, don't you? You have these thoughts with the fact that having a 6-year-old child, by the time she gets married, I told her she's not allowed a boyfriend till she's 40 anyway. Because being a girl, I said, what I'll do is I'll interview every one of them. Obviously, I'm going to love it. I'm going to love it seeing it just come in, son. Come on, have a sit down. You know, I want you just a man-to-man talk, you and me. What I want to just.
They're only ever going to turn up at your house once, like. Imagine getting interviewed by you.
I'll be using all my language interrogation to saying,
Dad, you're frightening all my boyfriends away. Stop
I'll
it.
be like saying, I say, have you got a bed? Have you got a bed of your own? Because you're not using my daughter as one. Otherwise, I'll thuck your ear, you bugger. I hope you are being honourable, you. That's what I'll be saying. And what I thought about doing is if I get the first one in, I'll invite him in, make him feel welcome. I'll actually kill him, chop him up, put him in the freezer. It'll be a warning to all the rest. There won't be any for weeks or months or years before anybody more come round. So
that's a good plan. That'll do it, Eric.
Apart from the fact I'll be being bars, but I'll be called Geordie Axe Murderer Fridge Killer Eric the Third.
Well, no worries. I'll do a character reference for you. You'll be fine. I was funny enough. Talking of death. I remember that the last school that I worked at down south, they had this thing that they were starting to do that a lot of schools down there were doing. I don't know whether they still are. They were getting a police officer attached to the school, and it wasn't the purpose of it wasn't to go and arrest the kids or stop trouble or anything like that. The idea was just to get the kids used to a copper being around, so they would be more inclined to tell them useful things. But anyway, the bloke that we got, he was called Jeff, this copper, and he'd obviously been assigned to the school because he'd had a pretty hard life and in the police force, and he'd seen a few things that had probably affected him, and he was cracking up a bit, I think. But he was ever such a nice bloke. He was a really, really nice bloke. And I remember him telling me what he used to do. He was only in the school about.
Hang on, Graham's trying to put a message on screen. Hang on, he can't even get in front of his on camera. Up a bit. Oh, he's frozen now. Andrew Borthwick, Guinness. He's drinking Guinness. He's drinking Guinness.
Is it really?
All right.
He's drinking Guinness. We've done it now. We've done it. He's drinking Guinness. Can I again finish your story? Stop bloody interrupting, lad.
Sorry to interrupt, Ian. Sorry. I
mean, you're trying to move it. You're subtle as
no worries.
There's such a delay tonight.
Yeah, he used to come into my lesson. He used to wander into my lesson on a Monday morning, and we used to have a good old chinwag about what he'd been up to, and the call outs that he'd had in the police over the course of the weekend. Anyway, one Monday morning he came in. He told me this bizarre story. He said they got this call out to North Hampshire, where this woman had committed suicide in a very, very bizarre way. And what had happened was that she'd called the vets, and she told the vet that she had a Rottweiler, and the Rottweiler was really sick and needed to be put to sleep. And could he come out with the necessary drugs? So the vet had gone up to the house, knocked on the door. This woman opened the door, grabbed his bag off him, slammed the door in his face and locked it, and disappeared off into the house. And what she actually then did was inject herself with the stuff he was going to put the Rottweiler down with and kill herself. So there you go. There's a novel way to commit suicide.
Well,
what if you don't know a vet? I mean, you're going to be fairly pally with a vet for a vet to come round to a house call, isn't it? Or you just got to pretend you've got a dog?
I don't know the details. I must say that was the story as he told it to me. So,
okay.
So there you go. Make of it what you like.
I don't want to say the story's flawed. I'm not suggesting that's a flawed story. I'm sure vets do a lot of call-outs, but I think I'd prefer to call out for a horse because that would be quicker.
Eric.
Yes. Well, horsey girls. There's another thing entirely.
What? Oh, go on, Grim.
As you will find out, Eric, as a new dog owner.
Yeah.
These vets like their pound of flesh.
Oh.
So any little phone call that would suggest, oh, there's some business here, there's my new Porsche lined up, they're going to be coming around real quick, I can tell you.
I don't
we actually have a very we actually have a very good vet, and they're very reasonable. But we have had some experiences with some over the years that are real mercenary, and they just love taking money off you. So
I don't think the dog could drive a Porsche.
Well, I wasn't thinking so much of your pets as the actual
You
young
mean the vet?
staff working at the vet.
Right. I mean, that reminds me of that story of the student. You probably heard the story. You heard the story of the student that goes out to this rich guy's house looking for any odd jobs. And he said, have you got any odd jobs? And the bloke said, well, not really. He said, well, come on. He says, I'm desperate for a bit of cash. Have you got any odd jobs? And he said, well, you can. He says, I've got some paint in the garage. You can paint the porch. And he went, all right, no bother. He said, what colour do you want it? He said, well, there's some white paint in the garage. Just paint the porch white. Anyway, a few hours go by, and the guy goes out the front of his house, and he's thinking, look in the porch, it doesn't look any different. You know, it looks the same. It looks like the brush hasn't been near it, but he's been out here for hours. He must have done that, like, you know. Anyway, the guy comes, he says, I've finished. It was a hell of a job, but I finished. He says, where'd you put the ladder? He said, well, I didn't need a ladder, I could reach. And he went, you could reach? You know, he says, well, well, I'll tell you, he said, I'll give you, 100 quid for the job. He went, oh yeah, but I'm more than happy with that now, 100 quid and marvellous. Anyway, we were about to shut the door, and the student said, he says, but by the way, mate, he says, what? He says, that wasn't a Porsche, that was a Lamborghini.
Very good, Eric.
That wasn't a Porsche, that was a Lamborghini. That was a Lamborghini. Oh, God. I don't know why I bother. Sometimes I don't know why I bother. I need to hang on. Let me give myself a tumbleweed moment for that one.
I nearly had a bit of a fracas. I nearly had a bit of a fracas with a Bentley this week in my big vehicle. Nearly caused a serious accident, and this would be, well, if we want to go down that route, this would be an interesting topic. People coming down slip roads to join the main carriageway.
Don't get me started.
I was going down the A34 south of Oxford, going down towards Southampton, and it's a very busy route because certainly a lot of our guys go down there with cars and export cars for Southampton boats, etc., yeah. Now, this was one of the top of the range Bentley Continentals that probably does about 0 to 60 in about 5 seconds. And he came down this little slip road from some country, whatever, village or whatever. And normally, if there's enough distance and they've got any mental attitude about them, I'll flash them and say, you're good, man, go. And all I got to do is put the foot down and go. But I couldn't pull over because there's a guy next to me in another big truck. And he just dawdled round, and I think, what's this guy doing? And I slowed down a little bit, and I flashed him again. All he had to do was go. No. He hesitated. At the very last minute, he just pulled out. Whoa, you bugger. I'm thinking, well, hey, there's some new cars here getting smashed up. And I had to pull into the other guy's lane to avoid him. And I nearly had a fracas.
I'll tell you what it is, though. I mean, we're called grumpy. That the one thing that boils my what's is precisely that, where you see people, you know, in the highway code book, it clearly says you have to match the speed of the traffic on the road and merge in. That's what it says. For those people that haven't read it, oh, by the way, hit that subscribe button, keep the subscribe button, hit the bell and smash the what's it and give us a good thumbs up. That keeps the back production team happy. But anyway, it's when you, I mean, because I know we drive Discovery. Driving Discovery and bloody Discovery, and you're driving along and you're doing a constant speed, and you get something like this Nissan Micros are the worst. They just come along and they're level pegging with you and looking across as if to say, do something, and I go, no, I don't have to do anything. You either slow down or put your foot down. I'm going at constant speed. You do something. I don't do it. You do it. I'm already in the lane doing me thing. Just you do it. That's all I'm saying.
Have I started something?
I think so. Go on in. You have your Pennyworth.
Well, I mean, bear in mind that I don't actually have a motorbike at the moment, but we've all been bikers. One of the things that used to annoy me most when I was on the bike was when you encounter on a dual carriageway or a motorway stationary traffic. So you're just filtering between the lanes of the traffic, and you're looking ahead, and you see somebody up ahead looking in the wing mirror, seeing you coming down, and they pull out deliberately to make the gap too narrow so that you can't get through.
Yeah.
Have you experienced that one?
Many times. I was actually
my
going
old
to
mate
Peterborough.
Graham. My old mate Graham.
Go on.
I saw him twice do this when exactly that happened, and he was ahead of me, and he just pulled up alongside the car and put his boot into the car door, and then went roaring off. I never actually had the balls to do that myself, but Graham loved it.
well, actual fact, there was a guys down south when I lived down south at Harley, and he was 6'2". This bloke had a long, wide Harley, arms out in front, feet out in front of him. He'd be doing his thing. Most chilled out bloke on the planet you could ever wish to meet. But put him on a motorbike and somebody do precisely that, he became an animal. He had many a wing mirror off or dome mirror off a car for precisely that. And there was one time we're riding from Rikers Box Hill area down, Leith, and a guy pulled out on him, and he literally had his arm at the window of his BMW, and he rode alongside him and got his arm and twisted over the top of the car, and he's riding alongside him. He says, if you pull out on me again, he says, I'll break your arm off your knob, and then booted his door in, and the guy got pulled over. And I thought, bless, that's how you do it. But we could talk many a story about motorcycles, but I was actually going out to Peterborough, had me helmet on my camera, and two stories. One was getting filtering, and you can tell the difference. You can tell the difference between somebody who's driving along and they look at the wing mirror because they see you, and they drift slightly because they go that way because they're looking that way. And between those people that have almost, like you say, a deliberate effort to block you. And I was going out to Peterborough, and I was in a 3-lane bit, and it was all stationary, and a guy in a Volvo just pulled his front of his car off, so he's almost diagonally across the lane. And I just pulled alongside him, and I knocked on his window, and I said, excuse me, do you mind moving your car? And he went, what do you mean? I said, well, you've actually pulled your car across the front of me, do you mind moving it? He said, what? I said, well, it's quite simple, just move your car. I said, because I've just recorded you doing a deliberate act of obstruction, which is an illegal act, and people have been prosecuted for it. I'm legally allowed to filter. You've caused an obstruction of the road purposely. Either move it or report you. It's as simple as that. And he went, there's need to be like that. So he pulled his car back. It was just car drivers. The one thing that gets me though, I'm on one tonight. I'm on all night. Is I can't. Andy's going to keep the cap on. I'm talking about me cap. I don't like it when it's not symmetrical on the camera. It's got to be symmetrical. Anyway, the other thing that brushes me off is people washing their windscreens. This time of year, when you're riding along with your helmet up, and then somebody goes, squirt, squirt, wash, and it washes in your eyeballs. Oh, gets me every single time. Well, literally does.
Well,
do you ever get somebody flicking a fag end out of the window?
Sorry?
Did you ever get somebody flicking a fag end out of the window?
Had one gun on my bike jacket.
Just as you're about to overtake them.
I actually had a bloke flick the cigarette light out, had me back pig leather jacket open to here. It went down my top and burnt a hole in my bloody t-shirt. The guy went out, and I went, fucking kidding. And I'm riding along going, what's that? And I had to stop. And I got the cigarette out, right? I rode up alongside him, still had his arm out the window, and I went, flicked it back in. And he went, oh, you there now? I went, that's your bloody cigarette, but you twat. Right, burnt t-shirt. Oh, you've got me at a wreath going today. Right, I'll give one more. I've seen we're on the subject. I'm going to go into one more. Again, same stretch of road in Peterborough. Riding down the bike, in the outside lane, in the overtaken lane, whatever they call it. Right? And lane 3, as Graham's not allowed to do in his truck, right? And I'm actually recording on me helmet cam.
Flat cap.
Yeah, no. I got to imagine, got my helmet on. Got my helmet on, right? I got my old camera on my titfa, right? And I'm recording this one in a convertible, white convertible Audi on a phone like this. See like that? This is all I can see. See like that? And I'm actually recording, I don't know. Anyway, I'm level with her. She's oblivious to me sitting there. Right? Anyway, the car in front of me speeds up, so I got enough to power on. And as I power on, the car in front slows down. So I slow down. This woman pulls across, and she must have clipped the pannier on the back of the bike, my side pannier, with the front of her car. Because my back of the bike spun. It just went out of line. Now, look, I was able to power on, right? But she did make contact with my bike, almost send me in the centre elevation, but I managed to power on and get it out the slide. And then she had the audacity to go, and I thought, I would let it go without the and I'm thinking, you're kidding. No, I wasn't annoyed. I was more like thinking, I'm still alive. Bonus. I'm not dead. I'm still alive. I'm okay, right? Everything's all tickety-boo. You know, and I would have let it go, going hard pumping, but it's adrenaline rush, free of charge by the stupid bugger in a way to the Audi. But anyway, she pulled into services, so I thought, well, I've got to, I need to go and have a word, like, because she went past me. She's like this, yeah, right, as I'm, going past me. So I thought, pulled in, and I said, what's the problem? What's the problem of? She said, what's the problem? I said, well, what's the problem? She says, it's people like you that you just come from nowhere. I said, what do you mean I came from nowhere? She says, you just, I was driving along and you came out of nowhere. I said, well, I was already in the lane, but you didn't see me because you're on your phone. She says, I was not on my phone. I says, you were on your phone, which is why I came from nowhere, because you didn't see me. I recorded you on your phone. She said, what do you mean record? I said, well, this camera here, I recorded you on your phone. She went, no, you did not. I said, hold on. And I rewound the phone on my camera, because I do that. This guy knows, over here, I do technology. I says, there's you on your phone, me recording you. I'm obviously level with you, recording you. Right, now note I look forward because the car in front gives me a bit accelerate. I accelerate. You'll note that there's a juror in the camera. That's where you made contact with my pannier and nearly sent me in the centre of evasion and end up dying. So this conversation could be very different. You could be actually talking to a policeman after a motorcyclist had hit the centre of evasion and you killed him because you were on your phone and weren't paying attention. But instead you're talking to me who's showing you error of your ways. Put your phone away. Or to report you. What do you want to do? And her face went white. And she went, I'm really sorry. I said, well, I'll do for me. She says, I'm sorry for that too. I says, that'll do for me too. Have a nice day. And I thought.
What a beautiful moment.
And we shared a gorgeous moment. It was like everyone was so happy and we all went home and had tea and cakes. And that bit was a lie, didn't have tea and cakes.
So yes, slip roads can be very dangerous for those drivers that obviously have, well, their headspace on a different planet. But it was pretty close on that particular day.
Well, so was mine. But I thought I was going to die.
Make a decision, man. Just come down the slip road, have a quick look. If there's something kind of like a big slow truck, but still moving at 40 odd miles an hour, if you've got any modern cars capable of just going way and power up and go, just make a frigging decision. You know what I mean?
I don't think they go way. I don't think that's what they do. They don't go way. They go boom. Unless of course electric, then it would just go. Not.
It still amazes me how many foreign drivers sideswipe cars. Now, I imagine, yes, it's a bit more difficult for them on our roads when you come to things like roundabouts, because they have a bit more of an issue seeing from their driving position. But when you're on a straight road, like one of them things, what they call motorways, when you're on a straight road, their truck is no different to ours. They have a mirror on that side, a mirror on that side. And in fact, some of the more modern trucks now have got these fancy new systems, so you don't even have wing mirrors. You've got fancy cameras, but they've also got cameras that point down the sides as well. So you can see everything around your actual truck unit, the bit you sit in and drive. But the amount of guys that you see, foreign truckers, that sideswipe cars, and you just think, why? Why? I don't know.
Well,
Are there any self-driving trucks around? No, you're hearing about these self-driving cars now, but
Tesla's good.
There's the technology used for trucks as well.
No. Tesla's got a load. They call them, across in America, they call them a semi. That's what they call them, a semi. They got a lot of them semi trucks, which are huge, big American semis, which can literally drive on their own. They don't need one of them that are drivers like that. They're Mr. Davison over here. I'm pointing the wrong direction. That Mr. Davison over here, he's one of those them they're truckers, but they don't need that them their drivers when they got one of them Tesla semis. That's what I heard.
What do you reckon then, Graham? Can you see that happening?
I mean, before you drop dead, Ian, which seems to be a bit of a concern of yours.
I mean, the subtlety and the subtlety. Should I just blank your screen out now? Should I just blank your screen out now and just put deceased across the top?
No. I mean, I think there might be some adoption, Ian, in places like Australia and possibly parts of America, where there's pretty much, a straight road for 1,000 miles and all that. Great. It kind of might be adopted and work, but it's not going to roll out terribly soon, quickly. But can you imagine an automated, computer-driven vehicle trying to get around London? Now, there will have to be some seriously hot technology, but I mean, it's just a friggin' nightmare at the best of times. It's a nightmare in a car, never mind a big truck. But what a computer algorithm or the software that will go into these vehicles doesn't appreciate is that most drivers, or certainly a lot of them on the road, are twats.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying.
The machine learning that will have to go into this computer system, self-learning technological new thing.
Yeah.
Will not be able to adopt that mentality of the twats that undercut you, come right up alongside your truck when you're going to try to get round a roundabout, but you need more space to get round. A computer algorithm will not be able to learn that overnight. So, yeah, from Sydney to Apple Springs or whatever they call it in Australia, friggin' straight road for 2,000 miles apart from splattering a few kangaroos. Yeah, I reckon they could probably do that. But trying to take a truck around the centre of London, Oxford Street, London Bridge, weight restrictions, low bridges, it's not going to... You'll be dead. You and I will be dead before it happens in this country.
He already is.
Thanks, Eric.
He's oblivious to this. I said, so do you know any more Geordies that can come on the channel?
Eric, how could you possibly replace me?
What?
Eric, or Ian. Da, 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 da.
We got the joke in. He was on his rant, completely oblivious to the whole thing. You have to watch the show back. Feel free to take part in the show, Graham. That's fine. At any point.
That was my phone going, Eric. I think that was Mr. Tesla's lawyers.
We're going on about your hey. I do apologise, Ian. We know you haven't popped your clogs just yet, but
whoever wants to respond to this, do you think there would be we're always talking about daft business ideas and stuff like that. Do you think there would be any merit or any value in just saying to people, do you want to come and have a ride in a big fripping truck around somewhere that's dead full of traffic and see what it's like?
Oh, yeah.
Because, a lot of people that drive cars hate trucks. In fact, I saw one the other week, and on the back it had, don't like trucks, stop buying shit. That was plastered on the back of this truck. Because people do not like trucks on the roads, because we get in their way, we're a bit slower than most. But do you think, remember that thing that we went to, Eric? It was possibly a job and all that. It was the race team.
Oh, yeah.
And that all the funky cars that did the fancy race weekends and track days and all the rest of it. But you could actually go and drive in the big trucks that they used to transport all the cars.
Mm.
Now, that was somewhat different because it was on a track. It was like a racetrack, circuit, whatever. But do you think if you just said to people, like, fun day, do you want to come and have a ride in a big truck? Maybe like one of them Tesco things that's 16 foot too tall, and just take them round and they'll go, bloody hell, is this what it's like to be a truck driver? Jesus. Never mind about artificial intelligence driving them. They must think we're all spaced out. Well, we are like,
I think that would work.
Hey, man, go to move your car before I scratch the paintwork.
I think you're onto something there, Graham. I reckon if you did an advert saying, "Come and drive it truck, come and drive in truck, ran town with Chucker Graham Davison. He's a good crack, and he's actually a regular on Grumpy Geordie's on Saturday night. You want to go spend some time with? I don't know where the accent came from. You want to spend some time with all Graham, and you could then do. Here's our Graham with a quick reminder of the journey. On Blind Bend. Take what I did there, Blind Bend.
I still do think as we roll out of this COVID scenario that there is going to be a serious opportunity for some kind of driver training format, because the quality of guys that are coming through now ain't good, man. Sometimes I'll go into these services at the end of my working day, and because the way that rather like fishtail or fishbone kind of, that's the way that they park the trucks. But I'll go in, and even if I was just going in to get fuel to continue on my journey, I'll sometimes go in, and the guy will go, well, I'm trying to park in there. So you have to you're blocked until he parks, because you can't get past him. And he'll sit and wait and wait and wait. And it's like 25,000 different maneuvers. And I'm thinking, has this guy actually driven a truck? Really? And I've actually seen it where another guy who's been sat next to him, possibly fearing that his truck's going to get smashed up while this inept driver tries to park, will just get out and go, do you want a hand, man? Do you want me to do it for you? So there's not a lot of good guys out there, because the industry now is getting older, like us old farts. It's getting older now, and it's not the most attractive enterprise for young kids to get into, and those that do probably last about 10 minutes. But if they're going to get well paid, and that's, possibly single, and it doesn't mean being away from home, you can earn good money if you're in the right environment. And let's face it, the amount of people that are buying shit online, it's going to be in the back of a truck at some point. So I still think... Yeah.
Are you seeing more women drivers these days?
Not really, Ian. Now and again, and it's not like the old days where you had to rope and sheet and do all that kind of physical stuff. Now it's just like drive onto a bay, they unload it. You don't even get your hands dirty now. So, but yes, not really. I mean, it's it's not quite the same for ladies because, you know, let's face it, occasionally we get caught short, so we'll stop at the side of the road on our journeys and have a piss. But it's not quite the same for ladies, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And let's face it, and this is another business idea, let's face it, the facilities in most of these motorway services are rank. The shower facilities, etc., they're flipping minging. You know, there's no thought process goes into it, even though they're probably capitalized very well on all of the trucks that park there and what it costs. The facilities are shit. So, you know, a young lady, even though I'm sure are very capable of driving a truck, I mean, let's face it, they're all automatic, they're all powered steering, you know, it's not like the good old days, you know what I mean? Reaping,
What you mean, like what
you
I
know,
call him? Stallone,
you know.
where he did the old.
But no,
you know, what was that movie called when he did the old?
Convoy.
No,
Rubber duck,
Convoy, man.
Rubber duck.
Yeah, I watched Convoy again a few years later, and by God, was that shite. No, but you did the old
Chris Christopherson.
No, man, it was
the
Stallone when he was a trucker, but he was an
arm
arm
wrestler
wrestling
one.
champion.
That's right, yeah. Over the Top.
Over the Top.
Oh.
That's the one.
What was the one with Rocky? What was the one where Rocky used to drive around with his dumbbells?
God,
Give me that.
it's like, hey, I know the internet's slow, but you're on the same channel, right? You're on the same channel, and I'm saying, what's that one with Stallone, who is Rocky? And I'm doing that, and he was doing the old arm wrestle. We've already answered the question, and you go, what was that one with Rocky? It was Over the Top.
I remember a few when we still had a telly. I used to watch this program. I don't know whether it's still on the telly. Ice Road Truckers.
Oh yeah.
Remember that?
Oh, right.
Because there was a woman driver in there. I remember she was a blonde woman driver, and she was very, very tasty indeed. I often wondered what happened to her. Is she sort of like the sort of drivers that you get in the UK, the girly ones, or are the girly ones in the UK? Are they sort of like tattoo lesbians?
Hey, we've got some serious delay out there tonight.
Look at the see that. Yeah, they are actually.
Look at the comments that's coming through. Mr. Borthwick has only just now put in R.I.P. Ian, so there must be some serious delay on the Tinterweb tonight. So you'll get this comment 3 minutes from now probably. Anyway, just because we've already put a little thing out here, just for those that are watching, we did say that this is a politically incorrect channel. So occasionally, that fellow at the top there, hope he but pointing in that direction, may say things that are sexist, racist, or sectarian. And if we offend any of you out there in the big wide world of the internet, we don't care. Find somewhere else to watch. But saying that, don't forget to subscribe if you're on YouTube. Plus, smash that bell and give us a huge thumbs up.
Smash that bell and ding that ding. Smash that bell and ding that
thumbs up. If you're watching on D-Live, don't forget to follow. That'll keep the Bag production crew happy.
I gotta smash my bell and do my ding. That's my spell.
Yeah. On the subject of which, I think it's time that we reclaim the word gay.
As in jolly.
That's my thought. As in jolly, yeah. I mean, when we were at school, did the word gay exist in its sense that it is used today when we were at school? Because I don't remember.
Just called them puffs.
I don't remember it like that.
Just called them a puff.
Yeah, puffs. That's what they were, wasn't it? Yeah, puffs and shirt lifters.
But the other thing I get is why do we call them puffs? Because surely it would be a suck, not a puff.
Good point. I have no idea.
Not that I'm suggesting I've gone down that road.
Which also raises the question then.
It would be a suck, wouldn't it?
Which also raises the question of why.
Go on. What questions it raising?
We're moving into dangerous territory, gentlemen, here, but I will just add.
Also raises the question of why homosexuals would want to be called gay.
Because they're jolly? I don't know. Because in the 50s, a woman would have to put a ribbon on her hair and be a little gay for a husband coming home. In the Good Housekeeping Guide of the 1950s.
But they're not, are they? They're always...
Is he getting slow again?
Well, Ian, I don't know what's going on in the big world.
Yeah.
On the radio the other day, it was rather late.
So
I think his internet's playing up grim.
I think it is.
Sorry, Ian, am I interrupting your flow?
You've gone over his internet connection. Let's go. We're going to go live back to Ian up in Scotland. Before he dies, before he pops his clog, we're going straight over to Mr. Ian. Mr. Ian, it's over to you. You got the con.
Yeah. So anyway, we need to reclaim this word "gay" in its proper context, meaning cheerful and happy. I think. I have no idea why it's become associated with homosexuals. It's most bizarre. But there it is. Did you know, in our wee school up here in the Highlands, about a year ago, when they were doing some building work there, they were going to install, get this, believe it or not, gender-neutral toilets.
Right.
Can you believe that? And you know how many gender-neutral people there were in the school? 0. So there you go. That's what this country has come to, where the majority are being dictated to by a tiny, tiny, tiny minority of people. Very, very sad indeed. Fortunately, it didn't happen. But there you go. Well, can you imagine there all these, poor teenage boys and girls, already being teenagers, a bit conscious about their growing bits and pieces, all of a sudden being forced all into the same toilets because of political correctness. Absolutely outrageous.
Well, Ian, on the radio the other night, it was rather a late broadcast, but they're now going on about gender fluidity.
Ooh.
And I'm like, here we go. What the hell is this about? And basically, if you don't know what you are, it ain't rocket science, is it? Well, I've got one of them, so I'm one of them. Or I've got that, so I'm one of them. However,
no, you're behind the time frame.
And they had this guy on the radio talking to some reporter dude, whatever. And he was very eloquent in his approach, and he'd obviously studied it, and I don't think he knew what he was. So the guy says, so you're now gender fluid. Aye. Well, what the hell is that? He says, well, sometimes I might wake up in the morning and I feel like being a girl, or then I might feel like being a boy, and then I might dress up like a girl, and then so really you don't know what you are. However, how are you supposed to work that out? But this is terribly sad because if you don't know what the hell you are, well, there's just no hope, isn't there?
I'll tell you what though, it wouldn't be any problem for you don't get gender neutral sheep, just get sheep. That's all I'm saying. No gender neutral sheep, but you're right, because it gets a bit. I mean, I run a training business, as most people know. I don't know they do now because I've just told them. But and I've got to be careful not to offend people. Not that I'm very good at it. Not offending people. I'm very good at offending people. I'm just not very good at not offending people. But I'll say to them, I'll use the old line, is that emotions are a strange thing, emotions. But they're internally generated. Nobody can make you feel anything. What you feel is that your interpretation of external forces that will play on your limbic system, which then creates an emotional content through the amygdala, through vibration, through the hippocampus, hypothalamus, and that becomes an emotional episode in you. And nobody can make you feel angry, they make you feel upset. So therefore, if nobody can make you feel angry or upset, therefore nobody can offend you. Because whatever I say, or whatever we say, it's your interpretation and representation in your own mind that creates your emotional content. Therefore, we haven't offended you, you've offended yourself.
Eric, I'm bored shitless now. I've had enough. See you. I'm going home. Bye.
But what I'm saying is if when we were kids, you were a boy or a girl, and you were sometimes
you were doing that thing with your technology again. Giving it the old Captain Pugwash.
There was never Roger the cabin boy. That was a
No,
myth.
it was never like
That poor bloke's
never,
business
never,
was
never,
ruined
never, no
because
more.
people were talking about Seaman Staines, Master Bates, and Roger the cabin boy, which didn't exist. So we wanted, the poor bloke's business was ruined because of nasty people, doing that. Anyway, that's beside the point.
All of this could resolve simply by at birth measuring your taint size, since meta-analyses have proven that the size of your taint is directly related to the amount of testosterone that you produce. And the largest taints in the world are black African men. The smallest taints in the world are Japanese women. So there you go.
Sorry, Ian, did you say capes? Capes?
Taints.
Oh, he's told me he's taint again. He's that bit between there.
I thought you said capes like Superman.
No, he means taint. It was that word we couldn't spell.
Yeah.
Taint.
The distance between the centre of your arsehole and the centre of your genitals. That's your taint. And the bigger it is, the more testosterone you've got.
Thank you for tuning in to Anatomies R Us. We're turning toward this subject about taints, which is the bit between your bollocks and your arse. Just for those who have never been on this channel before, we do talk some shite. But Mr. Ian, it's over to you. Tell us a little bit more about what a taint is for those viewers who are uninitiated.
So there you go. So that's a little project for you tonight.
You've got to tell people. I'll give you another lead in. So welcome. Thank you for tuning in to Anatomies R Us. And Mr. Ian is going to give you a definition and some insight into what a taint actually is. Over to you, Ian, live in the studio.
Ian, I've got to go and have a visit. Make it a long one. I've got to have a quick visit.
I'll do my best. I'll do my best.
Oh, he's turned his camera off.
Yeah. So the taint is the distance between the centre of your arsehole and the centre of your genitalia. And it doesn't matter whether you're male or female. And the bigger the distance is, then according to meta-analysis, the bigger the distance is, then the more testosterone that you produce. So the more male you are, if you like. And the largest distances are amongst black African men, and the smallest distances between Japanese women. So they are the most feminine females, apparently. So there you go.
So
there's a little project here. If you bend over in front of the missus and get her to measure the distance of your taint, and then next week we can compare them, compile a little bar graph, and find out which of us is the most male or the least male. So there you go. We'll be able to find out if indeed you are the alpha male, Eric. But if you have a very sad little taint, then I'm afraid, you're not going to be.
So let me get this right. Just for those viewers out there that may be watching this, is we're going to measure between. Is it the end of the end of the ball sack, or is it the? I mean, you have to.
The root of the ball sack.
Sorry.
Yes, the root of the ball sack.
The root of the ball sack. To your anus.
To the centre of the anus. Yeah.
The centre of your ani. Okay, the centre of your ani. Yes. And we're gonna measure that.
Exactly. If we all do it, then and compare them next week, I bet you'll be quite surprised at the amount of variation. You would tend to think that they'd all be pretty much the same, but they're not. There's a huge amount of variation. And strangely enough, there's actually been quite a lot of scientific studies done on this. The leading expert in the field is Professor Edward Dutton, who currently resides in Finland. And he actually has a YouTube channel, which you'll find on a Monday and a Thursday. He's written several papers on this and done a considerable amount of research on it. So there you go. It's a hot topic in the scientific world. Is taint length.
Well, can I just say, I find this absolutely fascinating. And for those viewers that have just tuned in, don't forget to subscribe to Taints R Us at the Taint channel, and it's somewhere between a ball sack and an arsehole. where we'll be looking at tins. And if you really want more on this, don't forget to subscribe, smash that bell, and give us a huge thumbs up. Just the thumbs up in your hand, nowhere near anybody's arsehole if you possibly can, because that would be somewhat either puff or gender neutral or whatever LBQD for SP, SQ or YZ, a gender neutral toilet or anything else. If we have offended anybody, remember we don't bloody care. And one more point, if you're on DLive, don't forget to follow. We need followers. Oh, indeed we do.
Indeed.
So yes. So I mean, Graham's he's taking a while, isn't he? He's taking. I mean, he may be measuring his taint right now.
Oh, here he comes.
We're just saying, Graham, what we're going to do next week, is you've got to get your other half. Can I just say that my wife is crap at measuring things, right?
No,
my measurements may be surely...
When you find out you're not an alpha male, that's what you're doing.
No, I'm just saying. It's just my missus is pretty bad at measuring anything, so it could be well inaccurate in terms of my measurements. So, I mean, is it possible you can do it yourself? I mean, is that possible?
Yeah, you could. If you got a bit of string, and you
do you want to demonstrate this? I mean, do you want to give us a demonstration about how we go around measuring?
I haven't got any string to hand, but if you get a bit of string and poke one end into your arsehole, and then hold it in there with the finger, and then run your other hand along the length of the string until you get to the bottom of your scrotum, and then pull the other end out of your arsehole, and then that length of string will give you your taint size. So you just need to put it on a ruler then. And you'll be fine. Yeah, go for it.
So I guess if you've just had your morning ablution, there would naturally be a mark on the string, wouldn't you? So you wouldn't need a pen because you'd still leave remnants.
Well, I suppose so. Yeah.
So you know, Ian? Ian, did you know you can actually buy latex finger gloves from the chemists for the very said purpose? A single latex finger glove. You can buy them from the chemists now. So there might be a bit of that going on. You know what I mean? I don't know.
What, like a one finger glove?
Yeah.
Is it not just are they luminous?
Sorry, that wasn't for the audience. That wasn't for the audience, but you can buy single latex finger gloves for the old proboscity.
So it's like an unlubricated condom then?
Yeah.
What will I think of next?
That is just amazing.
So when you were growing up as a teenager, did you ever, I mean, most teenagers, boys growing up, they're slightly concerned, I suppose, about the size of their willy, aren't you? Like, is it as big as everybody else's, or is it bigger, or is it too small, or anything? So, did you ever measure your willy as a teenager?
Well, I used to, when I went to shower and put over my shoulder, right? Yeah. That was, I didn't need to. But I'm going to tell you my favourite joke. My favourite joke is this white guy decides to get a tattoo on his penile, right? And he's standing at the urinal next to an African fella. And he's got, literally looks down this penile, his penis. And it's got WY on it. And he went, oh, WY? And he went, what? He says, WY? He says, look, I've got the same WY. He says, is your girlfriend called Wendy? He went, no. He says, because my girlfriend's called Wendy. So when it extends, it says Wendy. He says, no, mine doesn't. He says, my extends, it says, welcome back to Barbados. Have a nice day.
It's a way I tell him. Sorry to leave you there, gentlemen, but when you live in a house like I do, it's a bit like Batman's manor. It takes so long to get to the bathroom, you know what I mean?
No.
But actually, we're talking about comedy shows the other week.
We've got to come from Andy saying Ian is full of shite, and he said to show us. I guess he's on the teen conversation. we've moved on since that, Andy, but you might have to be a bit more specific in your comments because by the time they come through to us, we're moved on. We're moved on. We're somewhere else. We're moved on. That's what I'm saying.
Ian, you'll have heard of these guys, and they do a very, very good comedy radio show. And that's how sad I am. It's an age thing. Mitchell and Webb.
Oh, I remember Mitchell and Webb.
Yes.
Have you
Yeah.
heard of them?
Yeah. I
Well,
have.
there was a. I caught one of them the other day because I don't listen to mainstream news and stuff like that now because you know what it's all about. But I caught one of these old comedy shows the other day when I was driving down the highway, and it was very good. And I must admit, I was cracked up laughing. Batman has fallen on hard times. It's Mitchell and Webb doing this thing. So he's downsized, but he's moved into a single bedroom flat from the big, the big manor house that Batman lives in normally. So Mitchell, or whatever it was, Mitchell's the delivery man, and he says, all right, so he says, so right, we've got all this stuff up here now. He says, I know you've had to get rid of loads of it, like, because you're kind of downsized a bit, like, big time, haven't you? He says, well, yeah. He's talking like this. He goes, well, yeah, actually, I've had it downsized somewhat. It's not good, but I've had it downsized really big time. No more Gothic City, no more than that. But I'm going to try my best. He says, right. He says, we've got all this stuff in these boxes, but he says, I'm trying to work this out as to where you want it because some of it's got bat and some of it's got non-bat written on it. Oh yeah, well, he says, well, what I want to do is, he says, I'm going to try and create my world, but in this one single bedroom flat. But I've got it all worked out, man. He says, I want bat stuff in one area and non-bat stuff in another. He says, all right. So he's unpacking all this shit. He says, oh, this is a big one. This is a big package. What's this? He says, that's a harpsichord, man. That's a harpsichord. He says, well, where do you want that? There's not a lot of room in this place. He says, well, just, hey, man, just stick it over there behind the curtain that's behind the non-bat stuff. He says, right. He says, all right. So he says, so Mr. Wynn, he says, do you ever play the harpsichord? He says, oh, yeah. He says, I'm really into me music. Like, he says, when I'm not doing me thing, like as Batman, I'm really into me music. He says, oh, he says, so you've written a bit, you've done a bit. He says, yeah. He says, actually, he says, I've just written this thing, right? He says, do you want to hear it? He says, well, I go on then. He says, well, it goes like this. It would only appeal to a shadow like me, but it was very funny.
Hang on, I think you deserve. That was a bit drawn out. That was a bit drawn out. That almost bad.
When you were a little kid, did you have a little model Batmobile?
Oh, everybody did. Come on. Of course we did.
And I remember as you pushed it along, little plastic red flames came out of the jet tube at the back, and it had a little button on it. Did it have an ejector seat?
It did.
Or I might be getting mixed up because I had my Aston Martin that was my James Bond model as well, and that had an ejector seat in it. You pressed a button, it fired out the ejector seat. Yeah, and I also had. Do you remember Captain Scarlet?
Oh, hang on.
Mr. Runs.
How was it?
I had the thing that he drove around in.
That was it. Captain Scarlet.
That was it. What was that thing called that he drove around in? It had about 6 wheels, and the doors popped out sideways, and it fired rockets. But whatever it was, I had one of them as well. Right. I remember it was pale blue thing. And I remember it was my best Christmas present that year, and I must have been about 8 or 9. And I remember that for Christmas Day, it was the only time my parents ever did this, because most of the time they weren't speaking to each other at Christmas or any other time for that matter. But on this one Christmas, they took us out for a family meal to the Park Hotel in Whitley Bay. And my Christmas present that day had been a Captain Scarlet hat. And if you remember, it was the red peaked cap, but it had in it, built into the brim of the hat, there was a little microphone that pulled down so you could speak into the microphone. And I insisted on wearing it all day, that Christmas day, in the Park Hotel. And it was so fucking uncomfortable because it didn't fit properly. And it ended up at the end of the day with a big bleeding sort of scab on the front of my forehead there where this hat had been rubbing on me, but I wouldn't take it off all day. I remember when the meal turned up, my dad was one of these blokes that was really, really fussy about table manners, and he insisted on me taking this hat off when the meal was served at the Park Hotel. And I remember crying because I wasn't allowed to wear my Captain Scarlet hat. So there you go.
That's such a sad story.
How sad is that?
Okay, let me just talk to camera. We apologise for anybody that's been emotionally affected by that story, but it was a long time ago. So he's over.
Did you gentlemen ever have the Evel Knievel motorcycle thing? Yeah,
I know the one you mean. Yeah, I didn't have one myself. My mate Brian up the road had one, so I used to go and play with his Evel Knievel thing. That is, so I know what you mean.
Did you ever measure his taint? That's what I want to know. Did you ever measure Brian's taint?
No,
do you know how much testosterone Brian had?
We never did. No. I'll tell you what, it did used to measure though. When I was a student, and there was 6 of us living in this farmhouse on Anglesey, and we had the one toilet in this place. And for some reason, the year that we were living there, we were always trying to outdo each other as to who could produce the largest shit.
Oh, I'm going to beat you.
We had hanging up on the wall by the by the toilet. We had this coat hanger, and we'd unbent this wire coat hanger, so it was like one long straight bit. And what we used to do when you produced the shit was to poke it down the coat hanger down the toilet, measure the shit with it, and then you'd carve a little notch on the coat hanger at the length of your shit, and then hang it back up on the wall. And at the end of each month, we had a prize for whoever had produced the biggest shit that month, and they got all their beers bought for them that evening. But sadly, it was almost always the same guy that won, my mate Steve. Who, Graham, you met my mate Steve. You met him, when did you last meet him? Oh, of course, yeah, he was on Francesca when we were bringing Francesca back from Dartmouth. So you remember Steve, but yeah, he was capable of producing the most awesome shit. They were quite impressive.
Well, I've got a story about that, because once time, when we were back in my outdoor education career, we took a group, me and my mate of mine, I took a group across the Lake District, and then decided to, for a bit of a laugh for the two of us, to walk from Ravenglass back to Ullswater across the lakes, which is normally about a 4 or 5 day hike. And we'd been walking for 3 days solid, probably 3.5 days solid. And we got to Grisdale Tarn, and I'd not been for about 4 days. And I got to the point where he was just about to head over the hill towards where we're going to be camping out. And I went, I've got to stop now. And I'll tell you what it was. I found this little spot, bent down behind a rock, and produced something that was no short of impressive. And we're talking some size, variation of colour per day, to the fact that this thing was some size. But not only was I impressed, there was a whole crowd of gathered round, right? And this was the noise they were making as they going. You see them going. That's impressive. Anyway, it took so long that the mate, Steve, had gone across the brow of the hill, pitched both tents, and was on his way back and said, "What the hell are you doing?" I said, "Come here. Have a look at this." And he just looked at me and went, "You sick bastard." And I was like, "That's impressive. Even the sheep, they're impressed. So I reckon I would have beat that hands down. Without, in fact, there was no hands involved at all. It was so impressive. But that leads me into a story where I once killed a sheep with a thermos flask.
Why?
Well, I was at Shepherd's Crag with a load of kids climbing. And I used to have a huge, right, we're talking about getting the shot, it's a huge thermos flask, stainless steel thermos flask. And I used to fill it up to the top with hot Ribena. Because kids quite like hot Ribena, they didn't like tea and coffee. And I used to take this hot Ribena, or hot chocolate sometimes, so the kids would have a little drink and so they used to climbing. Anyway, all the kids have been through, upstairs, got them climbing. I'm literally packing up. And I goes to get me flask. But I didn't open my hand enough, and I knocked the flask off the cliff. And it fell, and I went, oh, joking, right? And this flask fell the whole length of Shepherd's Crag. Anyway, when the kids turned around and said, oh, we've got Mr. Borthwick wants to join. Oh, we're letting Mr. Borthwick in the pub, or what?
Aye, let him in.
Let him in.
Oh, I'm in the middle of a story, man. I'm in the middle of a story. Hey, hang on. I'm in the middle of a story, Andy. I'm in the middle of a story. Just hang fire. So anyway.
No.
Right, Andy.
So I'm on top. I'm going to start the story again because you missed this story. You just come to show flat cap or what? We've got a bit of delay going on tonight. Anyway, so we took this group of kids climbing. I knocked this flask off the top, and it fell up the top of the cliff. Anyway, the kids went downstairs, what we call downstairs. I went downstairs, and we hunt around the heather and the bits of bracken and whatever to try to find this flask. Anyway, I found it embedded into a sheep's skull. It had come off the top of the cliff, and it hit the sheep on the head and killed it. Right, so there's a sheep there. Right. Turn your signal off.
D-Live.
Your D-Live or whatever, because you're getting feedback. So this sheep's doing that. Right? It's kind of there, and there's bits of sort of blood and stuff, and bits of skull and whatever, right? So I didn't want the kids to see this. The kids were like, I found it. Off you got the bus, no problem. I found it. Anyway, so there's this dead sheep with this thermos flask in its skull, and I picked the flask up, and it's dripping in blood. And I thought, well, what am I going to wipe it on? I'm looking around, and I go, well, there's a sheep there, so I'm cleaning this flask on the fleece of this sheep, as you do, right? And as I'm cleaning the flask on the fleece of the sheep, other sheep had gathered around. And they started to kind of get almost like in a semicircle gathered around me, and they're all watching me, right? So I'm cleaning this flask, a bit like this. And then sort of going. And all these sheep watching me, basically, with a murder weapon, clean this sheep. So I'm not joking. I had the flask in my hand, and I went, and I hit it behind me back. Going, nothing to see, lads. Nothing to see. Move away. No, it's okay. Right. And then I went back to the bus, and kids said, I found it yet here. It's got a dent in it. I says, yeah, it's okay. It survived the fall. The sheep, however, didn't. But there you go. So that's my sheep story. I've got one more, which I'll save for another week.
Loved it, Eric. Well,
you've probably never met somebody who's killed a sheep with a thermos flask before.
No.
Anyway, Mr. Borthwick, just to let you know that last week's show got banned.
I know, I heard.
It got banned because him up there, he's pointing the wrong way, him up there, forced me to play AC/DC.
Yeah, but you didn't have to listen to him.
Let me say that again. This man up here forced me to play AC/DC. Forced.
What, did he bend your arm?
Duped me to play AC/DC.
Okay.
All right. And then we suddenly got, I'm going to do a re-release it, but I'm just going to do the bit with AC/D playing and replace it with this. Like that. So nobody knows that AC/D was played.
Well, Eric, man of your intelligence, I would have thought you would have known that copyright. So why would you do it anyway?
Yeah, Eric. Why would you do it anyway?
Oh,
Yeah. You're always saying you're a smart guy.
What you can't see on your screen, Andrew, as I can see on my screen, there's a big cross next to your name. I could press it, and you're out of here. That's all I'm saying.
I'm used to it.
All I'm saying
I'm used to
is
it.
that normally we don't have the same guest twice in a week. Not that we've been going that long. I mean, this is a. In fact, you could probably tell us how many weeks we're doing now. How many weeks we've been going doing this now? Oh, look at this. Did he go off there? Did we offend him? Did he leave us?
well, it looks like it.
Oh, he's
Anyway,
come. What are you doing?
I thought you told me to go.
Oh no! I said I could make you go, but I didn't say go.
I know.
I thought, well, hang on. I mean, you could have done. We could have done this one. But you're not old enough.
Would you come to my funeral?
A great mate.
Okay.
Not
Yeah,
you
well,
wearing
yeah.
that hat.
I like a good funeral. These days, I prefer
Is that-
funerals to weddings.
Really?
Andy, is that one of your
Yeah.
golfing caps?
No, I got this
What is that?
special for this.
You got it special for this?
Yeah,
What is it, a Guinness cap?
it certainly is.
All right.
Very, very classy, Andy.
Yeah,
But
thanks.
does he know that he's not a Geordie? Does he know that he's not a Geordie?
Oh shit! No.
He's nearly a Geordie. However, he's nearly a Geordie. I mean, he's only 200 miles away, so he's
I mean,
nearly a Geordie.
the clue is in. Hey, talk to which. Hang on, let me just talk to the audience here. Oh, put it on the screen. Put me on the screen. Right, if you're watching this live, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Press the bell. Ding, ding, ding. Press the bell. Ding, ding, ding. Press the bell. Ding,
No,
ding, ding.
no, Grim. It's smash the bell. Yes, you don't press
Smash
the
the
bell.
bell.
You smash the bell, and you give us a huge thumbs up. That's what you do. You do smash. He's off again.
Oh, he's off. He's off again.
I've no idea where he's gone to, but he's off again. And if you're watching on D Live, don't forget to follow. Don't forget to follow on D Live. That's important. We'll get Mr. Borthwick on. Mr. Borthwick, have you followed us on? Have you followed? We can't even hear. Well, look. Have you? Where have you been? Where did you go to? That's why you'll never get. That's why. Oh, he's wanting to get a bell.
Ring the bell.
That's why you'll never get invited to the BBC if you can't guests just disappear like that. You can't be just coming in and out when you feel like it. This is a live show. This is not like the Americans say. Well, you can't do a do-over. Let's do a do-over. Well, no, it's live.
You say live here, but I came on specially last week, and then I was canned. What's going on?
His fault.
No. Graham told me I was canned because I came on with my big hat on.
Yeah, well, it probably is because you're promoting Guinness now. we don't promote on this channel. There's no promotion allowed on this channel. Look, not at all.
Okay.
Isn't that right, Grim? We don't allow promotion. Well, there's no promotion on this channel at all. Buy this Oakham Citra.
I was gonna put my.
Hey, that's his neck of the woods. Hey, that's where that's near you, Oakham.
It's just on the road. Hi.
Hi, here you go, Oakham.
Hi.
Are you drinking Guinness again, then, Andy?
I was gonna put my other non-advertising cap on tonight, but I put it in the washer today. But my lovely lady managed to put a red cushion cover in the same wash cycle, so everything came out covered in little red bits because it had the little fluffy dangly bits on the end. So everything that I put, my work stuff and everything else that went in the washer, it all came out covered in little red bits of fluff. So I've spent ages tonight with one of them daft little roller things trying to But my little cap, I thought I'd put it in the wash. The non-branded motorcycle trailer cap, you know. But it came out, and it looks not like this. It looks more red than black because it's got little bits all over it like this. And I thought, I'm just gonna have to be gender neutral tonight, man. I'm just gonna. Well, I don't know what I am, man. I'm fluid. I'm fluid. You know what I mean? I just don't know what I am.
Well, we know that. We've known that for years, Graham.
Well, we're all going to be measuring. We're all going to be measuring with taints this weekend. Now that we know what a taint is, because well, I'm pretty good with that. And me string, but I love it when you tell a story, Grim. You always do the actions. You've got a lot of hand action going on when you do the actions. You go, you know, put it in the wash, and it's got a little bit. I love the actions. It's just brilliant. You're very.
I'm a bit disappointed in you, Eric.
You know, oh, sorry. Carry on, Graham.
Sorry, Eric. I'm a bit disappointed. I know you've had like puppy things going on and stuff like that, but I thought you might have had a few more like sound effects and stuff like that. I mean, I know there's only so many hours in the day, but I thought you might have introduced a bit more funk-esque to the groove, man, you know?
Well, a bit like your disco, Graham.
Well, should we do that next weekend, gentlemen?
Well,
shall we have a proper disco?
You said you were going to do a disco.
Well,
yeah, you did.
But the issue is, you've got to play non-copyrighted music.
We'll do it next weekend.
Well, the thing is, we haven't got any evidence for it because it all got cancelled last week.
The problem is, Eric. The problem is, Eric. If I put all me funky stuff up and start playing some funky tunes, there'll be copyright issues.
Is he got a delay? I mean, are you delayed or what? I've just said precisely that. I said if you're gonna do that, I said you'll have to play copyrighted music or non-copyrighted music.
Yeah.
Are you a bit? I mean, I know you. You know, I know you. I love you to bits, right? Don't let go with your own. I love you to bits. But are you? I mean, is it a satellite delay from here to there?
Yeah.
Aye.
Well, look at his face. Aye. Are you going back to the home tonight, Graham? Are you on day release?
Did you just say Derry Lee?
No, are you on day release? Are you going back to the manor house?
I think he said, "Are you on day release, mate? Are you on day release, lot? Are you released for the day
release, mate?"
I think he was talking about. I think he's talking about day release, mate.
Our educated friend, my educated friend up in the north of Scotland, there, Ian.
Hang on. What do you mean? That sounds like you've only got one educated friend.
Well,
he has.
I've got a big taint as well, Eric.
Oh. Our educated friend and Ian must be looking down at these Raji Geordies thinking, friggin' hell, how did I get wrapped up in this crap?
But he's next Geordie. Ian's the next Geordie, isn't he? He's abandoned us. He hasn't come back to his roots.
No. You're never an ex-Geordie. Once a Geordie, you're always a Geordie.
Yeah.
Just because you don't live there doesn't make any difference.
Mr. Borthwick's the odd one out tonight. Mr. Borthwick, he's a southerner trying to be a Geordie. Hey, man. Get it together, man.
Can he be though? That's can he be? If you get the Oakham Citra, it's not too bad.
Yeah, it's nice beer. Aye, it's nice.
There you go. That's for you, Andy. There you go. You got it. Let me get focus.
Cheers. Thanks.
Andy, you can drink as many brown ales as you like, and you can try and speak the speak, but you know, I'm sorry, mate. Doesn't matter how you do it. If you're not
I
a
will never.
Geordie,
You're right, Graham. I will never speak the shite you speak.
Oh no, hey! We said we're not going to be offensive, but we don't mind offending the people. But you cannot be offending the people on the channel, or they'll be yoked on your ear. You see, because you see, we talk proper. We talk proper Geordie like because did you know that the Geordie accent, and I'm talking directly to the audience as well. The Geordie accent is the longest remaining accent in the British Isles, because we date right back to the Vikings, like. That were around in Jarrah, and they still talk the same shit. They still say gan and yem in Finland the same as we do. So different out that crap, because they talk proper old Viking Norse like. So we've been around for quite some years. Isn't that right, my fellow educated friend?
Well, I don't know about that, Eric. I would guess. I reckon Welsh is probably the oldest accent, because they were there before the Vikings. That would be my guess.
Ian, you could have just lied. You know what I mean? You could have just like went, you're right.
Nice.
I said the oldest English accent. That was
English.
The oldest. I wouldn't
No, I still wouldn't give you that. I reckon the oldest English accent, I reckon it would be Cornish.
You've let the side down now. You've let the side down now. We need to Google.
I could be wrong, but I reckon it is.
What you reckon? It Cornish?
Yep, because they survived the Vikings, didn't they? They were there before the Vikings, and they were the only place that wasn't invaded by the Vikings as well. So they weren't influenced by the Vikings at all. So yeah, they'll be the oldest one in England, I reckon.
But they also didn't have a tractor back then. There was no tractors. Didn't have any tractors. They were in
no tractors.
Yeah, no tractors. No tin mines. Well, they might have tin mines because they did all that mining, didn't they? Tin mines. But did they have then a stotty? They never had a stotty down in Cornwall. One like was Geordie's stotties.
Yeah. Did anybody know there was
Can somebody tell this bugger here that he can't have conversation when he's live on the telly?
Aye. Get it together, man, Andy.
Andy, you can't have you're on the telly, man. You're on the telly. You can't be having conversations on the telly. You can't be having conversations on the telly. What do you think you're doing? You know what I mean? You're live, and if you're going to have a conversation, you need to turn your mic off.
What I've done is, I thought I put my hand over the mic, but I put it on the other side instead of the mic. I do apologize.
You just can't get the stuff, man. You just can't get the stuff.
It's my first rodeo, guys. That's why we were banned last week.
May I talk to Ian, my educated friend?
Him up there.
Yes.
Fire away.
Up there.
Ian, did you know, despite all the shit that's going on in the big world at the minute, there is a serious crisis going on in the orchards?
Ooh.
I didn't know that, no.
Well, let me tell you, I mean, I was feeling a bit depressed the other day until I heard this, and now I'm suicidal. Ruth has found a crack in a slurry pit.
Ooh.
And her Borchester sausages aren't selling very well.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought the world was going to shit, but when I heard that, I just thought, well, it's fucking game over, isn't it? You know, it's game over.
Game over. Aye.
It is, yeah. Sounds to me like a...
That's the Ruth's the bird with a crappy Geordie accent. Oh, well, David, I'm feeling really depressed. I've got a crack in me slurry pit leg.
Is that how bad it is? I reckon. Why don't we?
Hey,
to make this, why don't we make this program?
I just thought of something. I must say this before I forget. You know, we every now and again we keep talking about comedy programs and stuff, and we forgot the best one of all. Our very, very own
the Likely Lads.
Of course.
Terry.
Yeah. Terry and,
I'll give you-
and Bob.
Can you remember, Ian? Can you remember the
It
episode
wasn't that fantastic?
when they were fishing? They were fishing on the pier at North Shields, and he says, "Oh, are you all right? Are you all right?"
Yes.
He says, "I'd give you a can, but I've only got 6 left."
Yeah, I remember that.
Anyway, what I was going to
Tell me
suggest, what I was going to suggest, as this is an educational program, why don't we do a Geordie word of the week to educate people out there that aren't Geordies on Geordie words, so they can learn to talk like a Geordie.
Why, I man?
Okay.
And if you do that again, you're off. If you do that
Why,
again,
I man?
way I man.
Well, actually, Eric, let me tell you something.
Go on, Grim. You tell me
Andy
something.
and I speak occasionally. When Andy and I speak occasionally, when I ring him up, the start of the conversation is normally ring, ring, ring. Way I man.
Well, you say that to him, or he says that to you?
No, he says that.
He's not very good at it. You should have taught him by now to say it properly. You know what I mean? It's like,
Why, man?
oh.
Try it again, Andy. Try it again.
Why, I man?
No, you're losing it. It's way I man.
No.
You got to go deeper.
Why?
Way I man.
Why,
Why,
I
I
man? Why, I man?
That's a little bit better. That's a bit better. Try the old Jimmy Carr. Pooper scooper.
Pooper scooper.
You got shove your jaw for you. Your jaw. Do it from a side angle. Your jaw's got to go forward, and you go a boot. Like that. A boot.
Boot.
There you go. That's canny, right? That's canny. Now say oot. Oot.
Oot.
No, oot.
Oot.
Oot, and then put a bit in front of it and comes boot.
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 When
When your boat comes up Bottle Bank, your boat comes up Bottle Bank. This is entertainment, folks. If you're enjoying this, don't forget to subscribe. Smash that bell and a huge thumbs up on YouTube. And don't forget to follow us on DLive.
Anyway, Ian, let's have some educational.
So what are we going for that word for the week?
Well, I
Ian,
thought we can go with Ben, because that's a good. That's when you've got a Ben.
That's Scottish, isn't it? That's Scottish, Ben.
Yeah, Andy's right actually. There, he's got a point that it's used in Scotland as well. So I reckon it's not exclusive to Geordies. That. So I reckon we can't have that one. How about?
Okay, but you got for the obvious one, Canny. You got for the obvious one, Canny, then, didn't you?
Canny.
I could do. Yeah.
I mean, canny has been about. I mean, if you try to explain the word canny to anybody who's not Geordie, you're gonna have some canny difficulty, like doing the word canny.
It's clever, isn't it?
No, but it's no. I mean, canny. See, the
Well,
word canny, you would say, like, she's canny. We mean she's good, she's canny, she's all right. We're quite like her.
Oh, right, okay.
Right? Or you could say, this used to be a canny good show. This used to be a canny good show.
I came on it.
Until the Southerners came on it, and then it just completely, whatever. And it was a canny good show until that bloke up there forced me to play AC/DC. That was a canny good show, right? So canny could mean good, but it means R-read. It means it's canny. Go on, Mr. Educated friend up there in the northeast. Define. Go. Well, that's not you. I pressed the wrong button here. I'm on a button fest here.
He's a southerner. Him. We didn't put him on.
Go on, Ian. Define canny.
Define it. Well, I think you've grasped the meaning of it really there, Eric. But it's one of those Geordie words that depending on the way you say it,
it can be quite variable, can't it? But I mean, generally, it means something that's good, something that's okay, something that we like. That's the sort of gist of it. Yeah.
Because I mean, if something can be canny good, which means it's very good, or it's really good,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
that doesn't mean good. You could say, like Graham. I could say Graham's. I mean, I wouldn't but I could say Graham's canny, but I wouldn't. But I could say it, right? But I would say, Graham's got a canny middle finger, right?
Well, he has, because like on the night before my wedding, we slept together.
Have you slept with Graham?
Yeah.
Oh, what's he
night
doing
before
now?
my wedding.
Have you bought a new lock? Is that another advertisement going on there? Have you bought a new lock?
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt my educated friend.
Friends. It's got an S on the end of
Friend.
So I would say canny is more than just good. It means the person's alright. There's something likeable about them. It's something enjoyable. Because you could say I've had a canny time, which means you've had an enjoyable time, or it's been canny awful. So it's got a lot of variation. But by and large, you're either a Geordie and you can use it because you're a Geordie and you're not. But otherwise, if you're not a Geordie, didn't use it.
Eric, may I say something, Eric?
Of course.
Eric, I don't doubt that you are also one of my educated friends.
Hang on, I think I've worked out what the problem is there, Grim. Hold on. I'll tell you what I've worked out the problem is. I'll tell you what the problem is there. This is your problem. Look, this is your problem. It sounds like to me you've got a bit of that.
Yeah. No.
And that's a taboo subject.
This is directed to both you, Ian, and Eric. Now, the general media out there at the moment, bear in mind, I'm a sad man.
Well, you lost me there. It's directed at both you, Ian, and Eric. Is that what you said?
This is a question that's directed to Ian and, well, possibly even Andrew as well. I don't know.
So it's directed at anybody on the channel or even watching it.
Do you want to be specific? Fucking shut up and listen. The mainstream media at the minute has kind of slowed down on the big C topic. That topic.
Mm-hmm.
But what really, really boils my piss, and you guys will probably know a little bit about this, and it might boil your piss as well. These people that come on media and radio shows and all the rest of it that have got extremely long frigging job titles. There was a guy on the other day, and the job description, his job title was so frigging long. By the time they got down to having a conversation, the interview ended. Because it was like, somebody will come on and it'll be like, oh, well, what do you do? Well, I'm senior chair, head of department in nanotechnology and such scientific development at Queen's College, Oxford, backed by blah, 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 blah. You fucking hell, I'd hate to have a beer with you. You just sound like a dick. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah, and by the time they're finished explaining to you what they do for a living, you're actually none the wiser. You've still no idea whatsoever what they actually do.
Oh.
Well, Ian, what's all that about? You're not a rocket scientist. You work in a lab. Oh, no. I don't work in a lab. I'm senior chair, head of department. 5-minute long descriptive intro to the friggin' you work in a lab, man.
I bet they've got a taint that big.
Yeah.
They'll have a tiny taint, so they need a bigger title.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what it all comes down to.
The taint's need bigger than that. In fact, it's probably minus taint. Can you have a minus 10 where your balls are hanging out your arsehole? Probably.
Andrew, have you got a really
Graham.
long job title? Have you got a really long job title?
Yes.
Tell
I
me.
could tell you, but I have to kill you.
Tell me.
Storekeeper. That's it. That's it.
Stalky Psycho, weird guy.
Yes.
What's the longest job title anyone's ever had?
A residential child care officer. That's quite long.
But, you know, these people are so full of shit, aren't they? Oh, well, you
Yeah.
know.
Oh yeah. Well, they love it. People
will.
love those long job titles, don't they?
What
Just
gets
makes
me
them-
though,
makes them
is
sound very
is I mean, everybody goes on with this Chris Whitten fella, but he can't even use his
Yeah.
own PowerPoint. When he's doing
Oh,
that briefing, he has to go, next slide, please. He can't even flick a mouse and move his own slides. I mean, that doesn't fill you with a lot of confidence, does it? When a bloke can't actually do his own PowerPoint presentation. What are you doing, Andy? What are you doing? Can you not I've spent, normally when I would come on early, I set the cameras up to look the part, and you look like you're sodding yo-yo. What you doing, man?
I'm playing yo-yo, man.
Unbelievable. Anyway, that gets me about people that can't do technology. Technology. The no knowledge.
Eric, I think you're manipulating this groove behind the scenes because you're looking kind of crisp on camera and we all look shit. I think you're bolstering your own cause here. Have you got one of them big job titles?
No, but I've got a big camera.
Head of technology.
Would you like to see my big camera? I can show you my big camera. It's like huge, and I can look right down the lens and talk, and I can manipulate the audience by saying, if you're watching this live, and you like what you hear,
click that bell
what you
and
see,
ding that ding. Click that bell and ding that ding. Click that bell.
This is serious broadcasting, Graham. Serious broadcasting. So I'm going to put me front and centre. If you like what you see.
Well, get some more ding dong sound effects next week.
So,
There's a one. There's a one.
Yeah, Andy's got some sound effects.
Andy,
we
that's
know
about
from
the
last week
Chinese
when I put. I mean, I could put the best bits on it. If I can find some best bits, I'll put some best bits
What
on.
the-
But it's almost like the fact. This was like with Andy last week. He's like, hang on. I'm just, it was just, stuff all over the place. What's all that about? I mean, he was having a conversation. You're live on telly, man. On the internet television. Oh, bloody hell.
Well, anyway, gentlemen, we're rapidly moving towards that hour of finite-icity.
Can I just talk about one thing? I want to talk about shite.
Oh, are you going to go get your dog?
What I love about being in this virtual pub, right? At any point,
Go and get your dog.
I can walk around in me tartan Jim Jams look.
Oh,
Hey, show us your tape then.
Oh,
Ah,
nice paint.
now, Ian, don't get terribly upset. It's not meant to upset you. But I guess he's
I
going
will
to go
try
and
not
get
to get
the
too
dog.
emotional.
Have you ever
Yeah,
stood in
it's
dog
gonna
shit
be-
in
it's
bare
gonna be
feet?
tough.
Have you ever stood in dog shit in bare feet?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, Ian, can you remember Jill?
I
The girl
do
that I
indeed
nearly
remember it.
married.
Yeah,
The
Yeah.
girl that I nearly married. Well,
I do.
her brother had a rather nice home up in Seaton Delville. And we are look at
Aw.
the little
This thing here.
dog.
Look at this.
Is that little? That's a little dog.
Oreo Biscuit Yates, his name is. Oreo Biscuit Yates can shite through the eye of a needle and can leave little deposits all over the place.
Cute as anything, that Eric.
Sorry? He's gorgeous. You're gorgeous. You're gorgeous.
Oh, you see,
This
it's
is going to get one
it's
more
starting
views.
to have
And
an
this is
effect.
going to get one more views. If you want to
He's
see
getting
more of
there.
Oreo Biscuit Yates, don't forget to subscribe. Hit that bell, smash it. Blah, 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 blah. Look at there, look over there.
What's his taint look
Tell
like?
you, man. When you get over the puppy stage, you're gonna be an absolute dog freak.
Oh, he did so cute.
No.
Little puppy dog.
There you go.
Show us his taint, Eric, and then we can decide how much testosterone he's going to have.
I'm not showing his bits live on screen. Because remember, I've even said to my son, once you show your winky on screen, you can't take it back. Never show your winky on the internet. I'm not showing his winky on it because when he becomes an adult dog, later on from now, this program may be played back. And he says, "Hey, Dad, is that my winky?" I said, "I thought it is, right? We told me never to put my winky online." I said, "Well, that wasn't my fault. It was Ian, because Ian also forced me to play AC/DC.
puppy
He did."
dog. Eric,
You got
Eric,
a point
why
there,
don't
yeah.
you-
Revenge porn.
why don't you create a channel just for the dog whilst it's going through its development puppy stage?
Yeah,
You'll probably get a lot more hits than our crap.
probably.
What you could do, Eric? Do like a little voiceover. Like, do you remember Johnny Morris
yeah.
on Animal Magic?
Mm.
Do it like that. So you're the voice of the dog.
Oh yeah, I'd be like, "Oh hey Dad,
You would love it.
hey Dad, what's these blocks on the screen?" "Well, I don't know, son." "Yeah, well,
Honestly, I swear to God, Eric.
looking bugger with a Guinness hat." "He's not
Eric.
a Geordie, son. I'll teach you to work out which
Eric.
one Geordies are. He's not a Geordie." "What about the bloke in the dark?" "That's Ian. He can't afford to put the lights on." "What about the
Eric,
fellow with the cap?" "Oh, well, that's
Eric, with
great."
your technical experience, with your technical knowledge, I bet. Honestly, let's make a bet. You could put a little channel together, the development of Oreo, and you could do your crazy stuff with your video and all the rest of it. It'll get 1 billion hits. Not like this crap we're doing. It'll get 1 billion hits. People will love it. People, you see these little dogs bouncing around in cardboard boxes and they get like 20 billion hits. And you just think, hey man, it's nice to talk to me mates, like, but why we're bothering? You know what I mean?
A bit of a conversation. Well, what I could do is I could record the different stages and places where he shits all over the house.
Well, yeah.
That's good because it's a bit like lightning. He never shits in the same place twice. Yeah. No, you don't. You never shit in the same place twice.
yeah.
Do you?
Are you bonding with the little beastie?
Oh,
Are you
no,
bonding?
no,
Or is it
we
just
kind of
a
stand
bit of a
each other.
shortness.
We kind of stand each other. But this is doggy porn, isn't it? For those people that go, no, they're all going to screen there. No.
And I must admit, Eric, he does have that kind of look about him where he's fucking dying to get away from you. Like. He must fucking hate you.
Yeah.
No, he's gorgeous.
Oh.
Over the shoulder. There you go. But I'm taking it back. He's too young for these insults. He's too young.
Ian, you've corrupted the dog. Oh, bless. Well, there you go.
Well,
So
that's it. I think Eric's a confirmed dog lover now. He's become one of us.
when I get over the shitty phase, he might be. We'll reserve judgment on that one.
Mind you, this is going down rather well. It's not an advertisement. This is not an advertisement. We're not been promoting this. Don't banish this channel. Don't ban the channel because we're not promoting any
Where's the
alcohol.
worst place he's taken a dump so far, then, Eric?
Well,
Well, I've had dogs before, Ian. I've had dogs when I was a kid.
that one turned out to be
Yeah,
quite
yeah.
nice.
But
Where's the worst place he's taken a dump, though?
Where's the what?
Where's the worst
What?
place he's taken a dump so far?
Where's the worst place he's taken a dump? Well, it's a bit it's a bit under the kitchen table when you're having breakfast, and you go, what's that? And you in your bare feet, and you go, oh no, and you find it squidging between your toes, and it's not Play-Doh.
Oh.
So is he still at the stage where it's all like porridge rather than sausages?
We've changed the food, so it's kind of sausagey porridge. It's a bit like a lottery. You're not quite sure what you're going to get. Or as Forrest Gump would say, it's like a box of chocolates. You're never quite sure what you're going to get.
Does he like eating it?
No, he doesn't eat it now. He just looks back at it. He's quite proud to go, look, Dad, look what I've done. Look what I've done.
That's mine.
Look what I've done. Look at this. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. Are you impressed with that? That's what he does. Where's the little fella go?
Oh, I don't know. It's
his tape.
Probably.
If he starts eating it, you can sprinkle Tabasco on it. That puts him off.
Well, it wouldn't put me off. I quite like Tabasco. Not that I'm going to eat these shite, mate. Just to make a point of saying, I'm not suggesting you go around eating dog shite. At all. So it was a bit of a delay on tonight's show then, Andy. Bit of delay, was it?
It was for about 10 minutes. Then it was all right. I would say about 15 minutes. But it was all right after that.
Well, it was probably because we got Peppa Pig on. Oh, he's back. He's back. You just put your camera down when you go off. Do you go for a bit of a...
What?
You just put your camera going and you go off for a bit of a tinkle, do you?
I went for a tinkle, but I've been joined by my beastie. Do you want to say hello to me, beastie?
Stage, mate. Just trying to
stage. Darcy, come and say hello. Come on. Darcy, come on. Up.
Let's put you on a bigger screen because I'm sure the dog lovers love to see a dog.
Darcy's here, honey.
That's not as cute as my dog.
My little beastie retriever. My little beastie. There she is.
We'll have dogs in the pub.
Oh.
My little girl.
She's a blind dog.
Anyway, so we need to get more visitors on here. So you need to start doing a promotion, Andy. Andy, you need to do a bit more promotion of the Grumpy Geordies.
Oh, no, Geordies, so...
Well, this is true. This is true. This is very true. We need to get Brian on. We need to get Brian on.
Green.
Brian Johnson and one or two others to bring some more people to the channel. But we'll do a bit of video editing. We'll get last week's show back up because I must admit I thought last week's show was quite
educational,
entertaining in some parts.
Oh, okay.
Especially the fact that we've got somebody going. The bloody camera and knocking beer bottles about and God knows what else. It was comedy gold, but it wasn't designed to be comedy. It was just basically you being you, Andy. But it was. I
thought you were on about Graham.
Graham. Graham was late to the party, I have to say.
Well, he was, wasn't he?
Late to the party.
I made it on time.
Late to the party.
Andy, where's your dog tonight?
Sorry?
Where's your dog tonight, Andy?
I haven't got a dog. I'm dogless.
Oh, right.
I've not got one. No.
You haven't got one? No. I've got a one that likes to shit everywhere. It's going for sale if you want one.
Aye, okay. Aye.
It's not cheap.
Right. 20 quid.
Well, a bit more than that. Like, a bit more than that. So it's a border collie. It's come from the borders, so it's a proper border collie. All this accent on the planet, before the Cornish and the Vikings. And anybody else for that matter that Ian decides to come up with and ruin me bloody argument. Appreciate that. Being Graham's educated friend. Like I give a shite. As an educated friend.
You will end up turning into a proper soft dog git. You'll get that dog well trained. You'll get that dog trained. You know how it's a puppy, man. How it'll get through that phase. You'll get it trained, and you'll be inseparable. It's a new member of the family, and you'll just grow to love it, and it'll do what it's told because you'll educate it and train it. Like we've all had dogs, and Ian, you and I, we've all had dogs.
Come by.
I'll tell you what, Eric. You'll be sitting in your lovely house there on your big sofa on a Saturday night.
No dogs allowed on the sofa.
No, I'm telling you, the rest of the girls will have gone to bed, and you'll be sitting there like a big soft git going, cuddling up with your dog, and you'll be going, "That's my girl," and you start talking to them like a big boy.
It's a boy.
Well,
that's my boy.
I won't be saying that's me girl because it's a boy.
And when you come home, Eric, after you've been away working, and the dog is just so friggin' excited. When they're young, they still piss themselves because they get so excited. I'm a bit like that now. And I'm 57. When I get home on a Friday, I get so excited, I piss myself. Just to get out of me fucking box, you know what I mean? But you'll be lying there with your little beautiful boy, even though it's a boy, and you'll be going, nobody else can hear. That's my boy, and you'll be giving it a little cuddle and a little kiss, and you'll
like rubbing some head, giving you.
Oh, there you go, Lila. Oh, you really. Oh, God.
I'm telling you, you're gonna turn into a big girl.
Yeah.
Oh, look at you! God.
Just accept it. It's going to happen.
Tell him, Ian. Until you've had a dog.
Just accept it, Eric. It's going to happen. Just accept it.
Yeah.
Anyway, should you want to see the dog next week, don't forget to subscribe. Smash that bell. Tinkle that thumbs up and
ring that ding, ring that.
And then don't forget to follow on D Live. I don't think we've had many people online tonight. But I think it just, I mean, we've worked so hard, you know, to get this channel off the ground. It's just be nice to get up. Oh, people.
It's okay, Eric. We love you. It's okay.
I've done the pub. I've done the pub out. I've done the logo. I've just worked so hard to get this whole thing off the ground, and
it's okay, Eric.
Nobody appreciates anything I've done, and even him across there, he keeps talking about his educated friend that doesn't include me. I've known him for 20 odd years. You bastard.
Don't worry about it. Andrew's paying $5,000 a month subscription to be on this.
Did you know that?
Fuck. See you later. Bye.
Andy's got loads of money, man. Andy's got loads of
Graham,
money. He's our
can I borrow $5,000 then? I need to pay for the shite.
It's okay. It's done by PayPal. Comes out automatically.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Anyway. Can I just before we finish, because we're at that time, we're going to be launching next week merchandise. So you too could have a Geordie Grumpy. As I froze there. Grumpy Geordie's T-shirt. Grumpy Geordie's mug. We need a beer glass, don't we? We need a beer glass. A pen, a beer glass, and a T-shirt. Maybe he's even a cap.
Have you thought this through, Eric?
Hey?
No.
Have you thought this through?
No.
Which bit? A bit vague there, Graham. Which I just kind of. I mean, have you thought this through? I mean, could you want to just want to? I mean, you know, I know you just narrow the frame down slightly, so I've got some idea about what you're talking about.
Right. I'll repeat the question.
Ian's yawning now. Look, he's yawning. He's just yawned. Look, He's just yawned
Yeah.
live on telly.
You noticed.
He sent Andy away as well. Go on.
I'm the
watching.
guy that comes up with all the
Look,
cracky business
look,
ideas, right?
Graham, look down the lens. I want you to connect with not just me, but the audience. Look down the lens. The lens of your camera. Not that close. That's a
No.
bit scary.
I'm the guy that
You don't
comes
even
up
look at
with
your
all the
lens.
cracky
Look at the
business.
lens of the camera. You gotta. I'm gonna have to teach him to connect. When you connect with the audience, you look right down the lens of your camera, and it looks like you're having an intimate conversation with the audience. That's too close, Graham. You need to go back a bit.
Have you thought about this?
It's like
logically?
amateurs, kids and bloody animals never work with kids and animals or daft bloody Geordies. Go on in. What going, Graham? What you saying?
We've been doing this Geordie thing for a couple of weeks. In fact, 6 weeks now.
6.
Correct?
5 weeks online.
We
6?
we
No,
concur.
6 weeks.
No, five
We concur.
online.
No, it's 6. Andy, it's 6. This is a 6 show.
No, I know it's 6 show, but 5 online because last week never made it. 5.
But it will. But it will make it once I take out the AC/DC and I relaunch it because of him.
I've heard this for a few days now, Eric.
I'm just saying. I've got a real life, you know. I've got a life beyond the grumpy Geordies. I've got a life. Anyway, Graham, back to you. What specifically? Because I like specificity.
Eric, I'm thinking about you, man, because I love you, right? And I'm thinking, you know, this massive Geordie channel that we've got with 150,000 viewers every week.
Billions.
Well, I could see that was it. I could possibly see that might be a merchandising opportunity.
Wow.
But at the minute, we've got that sad bastard Andy from Peterborough, Stamford. He's it. He's our audience.
Thank God I'm not Stamford. I'm not Peterborough. I'm not a ragged.
Andy, do you want to buy a Grumpy Geordie t-shirt?
Well, I'll have one, but I'm not going to buy one.
Well, there you go. So he's your market. He's your market. Eric, he's your marketplace, and even he doesn't want one.
I'll buy one. How much are they?
They're coming all the way from America. The American Geordie t-shirts. And they work out after you paid the postage and packing about 26 quid.
They're infused with brown ale stains and everything. Proper cool.
Aye. That's cool.
Listen. I'm not suggesting today. I'm not suggesting tomorrow. But mark my words. This.
Oh, come on.
This, and I'm connecting with the audience. This is going to be big. This is going to be the next big thing. And on that note,
Ian, your lovely ladies in charge of production in the background there. Have we got 100,000 subscribers tonight?
Hang on, I'll check.
No.
How many subscribers have we got? People have we got tonight?
99.
Not 100,000 yet. No.
I mean, you did. Hey, Ian, you did say it's just a good crack to talk to your mates and have a bit of a laugh and carry on. You know what I mean? And this COVID stuff might be starting to wane a little bit now. Thank God. We'll see how it all pans out. But you know, it wasn't a case of trying to monetize it or anything else. It was just get online, talk to your mates, and have a good laugh and talk shite.
Well,
Good.
Graham, my mates want in, so I'm phoning you instead.
that was almost. We need to put a subtitle on there saying that was almost humour.
Ah, right.
that was good, but it's, you know, I mean, that was humour. What are you doing now?
I'm getting a thing on my lip. I'm getting a coleslaw. I'm getting coleslaw.
I thought you were doing that thing.
Stress. It's stress talking to you. Lot.
Anyway, well, this is comedy gold. Is the production team behind the camera have been telling us. This is comedy gold. So show your appreciation by hitting
Ring that bell
bell.
and ding that ding. Ring that bell and ding that ding.
Hitting that bell. Press and subscribe on that channel, and don't forget to give us a huge thumbs up. In which case, we'll be here next week, like a group of shadows that we are. But we'll do a bit of promotion as well. So we'll do a bit of promotion, and that includes you're good at that promotion, Mr. Davison. You know.
Aye.
You're good at it. I mean, you've got many flaws.
Well,
Too many to mention at this late in the evening. You've got many flaws, but some of the things you're actually quite good at. Well, limited.
I've got many flaws. I've got a cold floor.
But you're a bit limited, you know, technology-wise. But I've seen you, and you've almost become part of the 21st century.
Wow.
Hey, steady on. Hey, Eric, we have a journey to make a week Sunday, so I might be doing this from your crib next weekend, if that's allowed. Is that allowed?
I don't know.
You're in me business bubble. You and I, you're not. You and I in business.
We're going
business bubble.
We're going down to get another trailer next Sunday.
Oh, because we haven't got enough trailers. We've only got bloody 3 so far, and he wants.
Well, if his business is fine.
Who's this? The legal expert? I thought Ian was a legal expert. Who invited the legal? We've got another legal expert now, who thinks he knows all about the legalities of COVID.
Well, I've been listening to Martin Lewis.
No, that's good. That's good.
Aye.
Anyway, I think it's the last orders at the bar. It's time at the bar.
Aye.
And so can I first of all thank Mr. Borthwick for joining us this evening yet again.
Yes, Andy.
Unannounced and uninvited, but still joining us anyway.
Pleasure, Andy. Lovely to see you again.
I'd like to say thanks to Mr. Davison, who's been away from the camera twice this evening and popped his little cover down so we can't see what's going on because
I've had the finger glove on. I've been measuring me finger.
And thank you to Ian, who's reliably who is the educated apparently of the bunch, and has reliably told us about the meaning of the word taint, of which we all should be measuring our taint and sharing with the good people next week. So it leaves me to say thank you to all the people on the panel. I think we've been on the panel. And we'll be at the same place next week. If you have got any friends left,
left.
that have been coerced into coming along to watch the Grumpy Geordies, then we'll be in the same place next week. And tell your friends. And I shall be promoting the merchandise. So should you want to support this up-and-coming fledgling channel, you too may be able to buy a cup or a pen or a T-shirt. But don't forget to subscribe, smash that bell, huge thumbs up, and follow on D-Live.
Ding that ding. Good night, gentlemen.
Good night, gentlemen.
Good night.
And it's
Later,
off air. Ciao, ciao.